Hi guys, welcome back to Between Us FOOS. Today we're going to be talking about everything K-pop. If you're an urban dancer that has always been interested about the K-pop community, the crazy huge K-pop community, today is your lucky day. We're going to talk all about it. So Between Us FOOS, let's talk about it. Hello guys, hello. Welcome to Between Us FOOS. Thanks for joining us. We have a couple of people that are working here and resident K-pop fans in the studio. I'm gonna go ahead and go around and just have you guys introduce yourselves and just, I guess, how long you've been a K-pop fan, if you can even put a number to that. Whoever wants to go first.
You can go first.
Okay, I'm Donita, and I've been a fan since I don't know. Somewhere in high school. I really don't know which year, but somewhere in high school.
Oh, gotcha.
So since 2000, between 2008 and 11, somewhere.
Oh, gotcha.
Hi, I'm Eric, and I guess I've been a fan since 2007. Wow. I feel like I know that year specifically because a certain song came out in 2007. You know what I mean? So I can I have like physical benchmarks.
Oh, yeah.
So it's been a while. It's been 13 years.
Oh my God.
That's how long we've known each other.
Oh, yeah.
Is that true?
That's true.
Yeah.
Probably true, yeah.
So my kind of relationship with K-pop is I mostly come from the urban community, and I do manage the K-pop program here. And that's kind of the biggest extent, and obviously having known you guys for a while, that's the biggest extent that I know the K-pop community, so very surface level. So today's kind of like an interesting day because I'm gonna learn a lot from you guys. So, but first and foremost, like how, I know that you mentioned, Kevin, mentioned Eric, that you got into K-pop by a specific song. Just kind of like, explain that story. How did you get into K-pop?
So then I guess I was just browsing YouTube, and I feel like because of like how popular YouTube is now, like we feel like it's been around forever, but then, like it honestly like blew up like very recently, I feel, like within the last like decade. And then I was just with my friend Chi Fan, and she was like, do you know this song? And I was like, no, I don't, because it's not in English. And she's like, it's fine, here, listen to it. And it was a song by Big Bang called Lies. And then I was like, oh, this is cool. And then even back then, I feel like YouTube, like, like they have like the suggested stuff on the side. So like once I watched one, I was like, this is cool. Then I just kind of went down like
The rabbit hole.
Yep. And I've been in it since then.
Dang. And then what about you, Do?
Like what got me started? Actually, Korean dramas got me started. So I started watching those first, and just like their TV world. And then they would always have K-pop idols as actors and part of the Korean drama. So I think I was really curious about, I forgot who, I think it was like Boys Over Flowers. That's how I got. Oh yeah, so my first group was I'm gonna need help with some names here. What was it? SS
501.
Yes, SS 501. That was the first group that I like really got into because of Boys Over Flowers, and then from then I found out about Big Bang, and then just all of the world. Yeah.
World of K-pop.
Yeah.
I think for me, the first time I was exposed to K-pop, I'm pretty sure was the Wonder Girls Nobody video. That's, I feel like, where a lot of people kind of got exposed to it. I think they were like, Wonder Girls were on TFC or something. And like that was like the first time I'd ever seen it. And then having known you guys, I know that you did like a K-pop choreo competition video or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And I think, was it to Big Bang's
We did a lot.
We did a lot in
Yeah.
that 1 year.
Yeah.
it was
We did Wonder Girls, Be My Baby. So that was the first one.
first
and then we
one.
did a couple of Big Bang songs.
I think it was not Be My Baby. It was
Bad Boy.
Bad Boy.
Bad Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, downtown. I remember Carly was there too. But yeah, so I mean, K-pop is like kind of a word that's thrown around, I think, especially in the urban community. Just kind of, we kind of see it as like almost this like enigma, like it's its own thing, and they're just kind of living their best life and stuff. But I think because of that, a lot of people don't really fully know what K-pop and what that actually implies or what that actually means. So explaining it to myself and maybe other people who are curious about it, what is K-pop? And you can really answer this in whatever way that you want.
Well, K-pop is literally like the shortened version of Korean pop music, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I feel like when you think about like K-pop music, it's not just pop music, even though like it's Korean pop music. It's like Korean like R&B, Korean rap, Korean indie music. Like it's all under this giant umbrella. And then I feel like it's kind of hard to differentiate between like, oh, what makes like indie, you know, like K-indie music, K-indie versus like K-pop indie music. But I feel like that's something I still don't really fully know the difference between. But then it's just kind of there. And I feel like as an international fan, it's not really a big thing we talk about here. But I feel like Koreans like talk about that a lot because kind of how we see like pop music here, I would say like it's kind of like mainstream, you know what I mean? Like everyone's popular, like everyone has like a certain level of respect, but then it depends on the audience, you know what I mean? Like if it's an older person, they might not see like, oh, pop music isn't real music, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But then it's like kind of the same over there. Like K-pop idols are very popular with like young, you know, like teens and like young adults and stuff, but then they're not considered real musicians, which I think is interesting because K-pop, I don't know, like to explain K-pop, I guess like even though like there's a focus on music, there's like, they have to like a K-pop idol can't just be like a good singer, you know what I mean? Like they have to look good, they have to be able to dance, they have to be able to act, they have to be able to be funny, like they have to be able to be like so much more things than just like the musical aspect. But what did you ask me?
What is K-pop?
What is K-pop?
That is a very hard thing. First of all, I'm no expert, and I'm more of an alumni fan. But yeah, like I guess the simplest way to think about it is K-pop. Like, what is K-pop, right? I think it's it's kind of asking like, what is urban?
Oh, God.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I see.
So it's kind of hard to describe and define it really. It's a culture, it is entertainment, it is a lifestyle even.
Right.
Like, so yeah.
Yeah, is because I know that, for example, though, you mentioned a K-drama and stuff. Is other, I guess, mediums under the same umbrella as K-pop, if that makes sense? I don't know if I worded that the best way.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then like they have their, like they would be called K-dramas. So then if you like kind of go back like history wise, I know that like there's something called like the Hallyu wave, like Hallyu.
Hallyu, yeah.
Yeah. And then like the first wave was through Korean dramas. And then it's just talking about like how South Korean like culture in general is like spreading. So the first wave was just mainly in Asia, like, you know, like K-dramas got popular like throughout like East Asia, Southeast Asia. And then now we're kind of in the second wave, which I feel like is the global wave, which is like Hallyu 2.0. And that's like spread by, you know, like Girls' Generation, BTS and all that stuff. And I don't know, I feel like when you think K-pop culture, like that might sound foreign to you, but think like pop culture, but Korean. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like our Backstreet Boys, it's like our Britney Spears, to, you know, in sort, etc.
Yeah, like these idols and
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
Gotcha.
So that's like the almost parallel version here.
Got it. I mean, speaking of artists, actually, I'm just kind of curious. What's your guys' favorite artists overall?
I love Big Bang. I think that entertainment company, YG, has always been like in my tops. Like a lot of their groups are in my top 5. You know what I mean? I have other favorites, but Big Bang always, I like their music.
Yeah.
I like their, like, I like all their members. Like, I like all of their personalities and stuff like that. But yeah, that's like my true first love is Big Bang.
Yeah. The thing about Big Bang is even I know
who they are.
And I know, well, maybe it's through being friends with you guys, but like I know each individual like person on that I was gonna call it team on that group, and basically like their personalities and just like their style and stuff. It's so unique and stuff. So yeah, they're pretty cool. What about you, Eric?
Well, I would say like my gateway group is like Big Bang, yeah, and like Wonder Girls, because they were just like really big around the same time. And then, you know, there's like older groups like Girls' Generation and Kara. And then I feel like since I'm still like into K-pop now, obviously like a lot of my favorite groups are the current ones because they're active. You know, like Twice, Red Velvet, IU. Like I'm very partial to female artists, but then that's just like personal taste. But I do think it's interesting that the K-pop industry is very oversaturated. Like literally hundreds of new groups debut like each year, but then like, you know, like 5 make it, you know what I mean?
Wow.
And it's like,
that's crazy.
It's just interesting because we're like in like maybe 3rd or 4th generation of K-pop groups. And then because we got into it like during 2nd generation, where I feel like it's like, you know, when it kind of first starts getting like globally popular. So then I feel like they're very authentic, you know? But then like as more and more groups come out, like I can say like, you know, they might be like better trained or like maybe like arguably more talented. But then it's like they don't, like, not all of them obviously, but like you're kind of missing like, you know, like the star power, like the charisma, like kind of like what makes them unique. Because now like
there are a lot of
there's
them.
so many, and it's like they just remind you like, oh, this is kind of like this group and this group, you know,
like they remind me of this girl group, and
and it's just like how the industry is. Like it's not like their fault, like everyone's just trying to like achieve their dream, right?
I mean, it's similar. I mean, obviously here in the United States, right? Like what makes you different, what makes you unique compared to the other R&B singers or whatever, or even singers who dance or like anything. But I mean, it's interesting to me to just really hear almost the terminology that you're using in terms of like, was it Hallyu?
Hallyu,
yeah, like that's something brand new that I actually had no idea about. And then you're even talking about generation. So those are like kind of like even the subgroups under these, I guess, Hallyus, if I'm understanding correctly.
Yes.
Yeah. So so it's just interesting that it's so, I guess, structured, or there's actually like a terminology for that, because to my knowledge, like American pop music and or whatever, like doesn't really have that. As far as I know, unless like you can call it like the Ariana Grande era or whatever, but like we don't have this specific like these artists came out all at the same time. So yeah, like it's pretty interesting to see how big K-pop got over the past couple of years. I mean, obviously with social media and with just the boom of, I guess, being able to access things from across borders and stuff, it's a lot that helped it a lot. But I think if either of you guys are knowledgeable about this, like what really was the catalyst to have K-pop like explode, for lack of a better word? Was it a gradual thing, or was there definite like moments where at least to best of your knowledge, like where it really began to blow up?
Are you talking about like globally or in Asia or in South Korea?
Probably both, because I'm curious even to like why Korea specifically has this huge market where there's obviously very talented people globally.
Everywhere
so
else.
I'm just curious like how specifically South Korea was able to achieve this, you know, to the best of your knowledge. I know none of us here are historians or anything, but just at least with the exposure that you guys have, what is your knowledge about that?
Would you like to go first?
I'm just gonna throw stuff out there. I think maybe that it exploded. I have a lot of theories. Like, I'm wondering if it's because the same way I got into it, which was Korean dramas. You know what I mean? So, like, because those are more approachable in a sense versus music, then you can kind of also. I feel like I watched an interview regarding this topic. About how it blew up. I feel like maybe at the time, like people were just looking for someone to look up to, really, like idols, really. Like I feel like at the time in South Korea, whatever political stuff was happening, like K-pop was the thing where it kind of distracted you from that and like had, you know, you can focus on something more positive and like uplifting in a sense. I could see it that way, especially the first generation really came out like in the 80s, you know what I mean? Yeah, so historically, like politically, like I think it just came out that way, as it does here in America too. Like that's how we turn to our music and every type of entertainment that we look towards. But that's just my theory.
Well, I think like it's kind of like what you mentioned earlier. That's like, I feel like that's exactly what it is. Like, because Hallyu 2.0, it like coincides with Web 2.0, which is like, if you're not familiar with that, are you?
No.
Oh, it's kind of like the era of like, you know, like YouTube, like the area of like media sharing and like the creation of like user created content.
Oh, right.
And like accessibility and stuff. And then that's like around like 2007, like that's like when it happened. Like that term was coined when like Girls' Generation had like a sold out concert in Japan. And then I guess like, you know, like even though they're popular in Korea, it's like that doesn't mean they can be popular in Japan, right? You know what I mean? Like just because it's like another Asian place, there's still, you know what I mean? There's still so many differences. And I feel like K-pop is different because there's like a very strong like visual element, right? Like, you know, there's always good singers. But then like maybe there's like, when you think of K-pop, I feel like you think of like K-pop dances, right? And like that was kind of like the first time when they're like, oh, these are like catchy songs, but then these are also like catchy dances, right?
Can do in the club,
like
basically.
You know, like
that's
Wonder
their goal,
Girls, right? Yeah, like they come up with like catchy stuff, and like, you know, their dances go viral, like viral in the Philippines, viral like everywhere, and then it's like, you know, everyone gets exposed to it that little bit, and then it's like they kind of just keep building off of that. Like nobody, you know what I mean? Like when I played that song for Erica, she's like, I know this song. I didn't even know it was like a K-pop group. I was like, like everyone knows the song, you know what I mean? It's like, but you don't realize like where you know it from.
Dang, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, user, like, what do you call it? User made
created
content. I feel like that, it's like interesting that I feel like the K-pop community is also like growing in itself because of those things. It's like, it's, to me, it's so smart. Like, I think the way that they're kind of structuring
K-pop's
this thing.
marketing is
it's crazy.
Like, wild.
Yeah, it's, oh man, like I can't even, I feel like I know how big it is, but I feel like I also don't know how big it is and stuff. Sometimes when you look at the videos of these like artists and stuff, they reach like hundreds of millions of views, like way beyond anything else, because it's all globally, and it's just it's so smart. But for me, I know that with that, a lot of like people can kind of see that success or whatever, and again, they kind of just see it from a distance and stuff. And I kind of wanted to touch base a little bit on just some of the biggest misconceptions about either K-pop itself or the K-pop community, at least in your guys' perspective. Because again, you know, I just want to get people to kind of get a window into just the perspective. So what, in your opinion, is the biggest misconceptions about the K-pop or K-pop community?
Okay, I'll go first. So then, well, I think for K-pop, it's kind of like I mentioned before, like they like K-pop idols, like they're popular with like young people, but then they kind of have like a bad rap with like older generations.
Yeah.
And then I feel like that's just because I don't know. I can't say that every idol is talented, but I can say that every idol is hardworking.
Right.
Yeah. Like Korea is very unique in the sense that they have like a training system for like their idols. Like, you know how here, like someone could like just happen to sing really good, like, and then they'll get famous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then their career could be sustainable because they make good music.
Yeah.
Right. But then over there, like good music, like if you're going to be an idol, right? Like good music isn't enough. You know what I mean? Like everyone, like the average training period is like 2 years, right? And they could start like when they're 12 or like, you know, if they're like 18, that's kind of late. You know what I mean? Like it's like ballet. You know what I mean? Like you either start young and like you have a higher chance of success because, you know, people like, they like, you know, associating with an idol and like growing up with them, if that makes sense.
Interesting.
Like,
Yeah.
So you're talking about age.
Yeah, age.
Is there
Not
any
older
like
groups.
idols out there that are like, I guess, under
Older?
the age of 18 or like
Oh.
that they blew up at that early of an age, like 12 or something?
I would say the most famous one I can think of is like Boa, because she blew up at like 14,
My God.
and she's still active
She's like
now.
first generation, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
really?
like the beginning of
Of
second
second?
generation.
Okay.
But then she's like an outlier in the sense that she's like an idol in her own league, which is like kind of cool.
Oh, that's cool.
She's dope.
I know. I feel like for me, one of the biggest misconceptions, I mean, you kind of touched base on it before, was I feel like a lot of people kind of associated K-pop with like specifically like just bubblegum pop
Yeah.
at a certain point where
Yeah.
it's just like, you know, super happy.
So, like, the genre,
like,
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that it was
It's-
just that.
And that's why I like YG so much, is because their genre of music is like, it's hip hop basically,
yeah.
R&B. You know what I mean? It can get to bubblegum pop, you know, depending on the group, because they have many subgroups. But that's why I'm like, well, this is K-pop too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this type of music, like it's a different like if I were to just play the instrumental and the background music, take out the lyrics of this people singing and then play it next to one of our songs, it's like can't even really tell the difference. Like
Oh, yeah.
YG is great at producing music. Like they're my favorite, like in terms of quality songs, like actual music. You know what I mean?
Got it. Like, sorry if I sound like a weeb right now, but is
weeb.
J Park under that or
No, it's
okay? Where,
SM,
where
right?
does he fit into
No,
this whole?
Actually,
he's an
he's gone.
AOMG. He has his own label.
Oh wow!
But he was in
He was in 2 p.m., which is JYP.
Oh, JYP.
Which is like
Oh,
Wonder
JYP.
Girls
I
and
said
stuff.
SM, such a bad man.
Okay, yeah. Sorry.
No, I said that.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So there's YG, JYP, and then there's like a third
SM.
one.
It's like those are like the big three, which I think is interesting too, because you know, like here it's like we have record labels, but it's like, oh, like you
tons
know,
of
like who
record
cares?
labels.
But then like over there, it's like your label kind of defines you
Yes.
in the sense that
Wow.
like they're known for certain things or like they have a certain image associated with them, which I guess like kind of sucks because I feel like that's where the conception is like, oh, an idol's like kind of fake, you know, like they're just playing up this image. But then I feel like they are, but then like that's like their job, you know, like
Yeah.
they're acting for like their fans, you know what I mean? Like it's great if you can be yourself and be like loved, but I feel like that's very hard to like accomplish
In the industry.
in the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. I actually want to bring up another misconception that I was enlightened about, not recently, but I guess like prior to it, I just made this assumption that everyone in the group is quote unquote the same. Like it's the same person. But I know that like I think or that's like they're all just like kind
Oh,
of there's
I know-
like
I
10
know what
members.
you mean.
But then
Yeah.
you have like this like the lead singer or the rapper or
Oh.
the
Yeah, everyone has some sort of title. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
like depending
everyone
on
has
the
a
group.
role.
Yeah, a role. Like
I
even
think, yeah.
one of the roles is just being the youngest. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
that's a role.
That's a role. Like,
Baby Spice kind of.
yeah.
But then you're expected to act cute, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
Oh. Yeah.
like it's kind of like how you mentioned the generations thing, like it is, I feel like that's just in their culture that everything's very like structured, like
Yeah.
in a group, you know, it's like for example 21 YG calls them the ideal group in the sense that there's 4 girls, there's like the main vocalist, there's the main rapper, there's the main dancer, and there's the visual, and he's like, that's to him, he's like, that's the perfect group because they like cater, like
Two
they're
different.
they're each extremely strong in that one thing they can do well in.
Gotcha. That's really cool.
But they
Wasn't-
can do they can do everything though.
Oh yeah, but then they
Mhm.
have like the thing that they excel at,
Yes.
or
Yeah.
what their role is. What was the group again?
21.
21. Okay, gotcha. Would you say that? I know that Blackpink is really big right now. Would you say that they also kind of fit that mold?
I feel like they're coincidentally like the younger sister group of 21.
Are they from the same label?
They're from the same label, yeah.
Gotcha.
And then there's 4 members. And
Right.
then I feel like kind of, yeah. But then the line is more blurred now because I feel like times are kind of changing to the sense that all rounders are being more appreciated. But then I understand why like you need, because I guess how shows I guess how shows and stuff work is, for example, like let's say there's a singing competition show, right? You have to send like your best singer there, you know what I mean? Let's say there's a
okay.
dancing show. You have to send like
Are you
your
talking
best
about
dancer
variety
there.
shows?
Variety
Oh,
shows.
okay.
Yeah. So then
okay.
it's like, so let's say you're a really good dancer, but you can't sing. But you know what I mean? Like you still have something to bring to the table. Like you can still promote your group in this way and that. That's why it's like being an all-rounder, like it's cool, but it's like, you know, like there's an advantage and a disadvantage at the same time.
Jack of all trades versus like a master of one. Yeah.
I agree.
Right. Okay, cool. So now we're kind of hitting our segment where we asked our audience a question, pretty much. And we asked them, what is the most iconic K-pop dance of all time? So we're actually going
wouldn't
to
know.
talk
Just
about,
kidding.
like, we're going to discuss which one
feeling.
that we feel like it's going to be in
And
the
then are we
next
going to do
episode.
it? Just kidding.
But first, I actually kind of wanted to play a little mini game.
Okay.
Basically, I'm gonna I pretty much created a list out of the all of the answers that we got from our Instagram followers.
Oh, did you get a lot of answers?
Kind of, yeah, but I mean, it was like a lot of repeats, so we kind of sorted it out. And I'm actually curious, how many of these dances that you actually know?
So we just raise our hand.
Yeah, well, you can't raise your hand because we have Spotify listeners.
Oh.
So you could just be like, yep, and nope.
Okay.
But and knowing the dance doesn't mean like, you know, beginning to end the whole 4-minute piece or
But, like,
whatever.
you, like, know it.
But like, you know, like, let's say like 4/8 counts at least, maybe, or something.
That's a lot.
Is that a lot? I don't know, like the
You
chorus.
know the point dance. That's
Yeah.
like what it's called.
Oh, the point dance.
Yeah.
Like, so, oh yeah, like, so for example,
So
like
nobody's would be like this.
the literal point.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then yeah, like the move that makes the
Our
song
Spotify
famous.
listeners are
Okay,
so
gotcha.
confused.
Yeah. So we're gonna go down this list, and for everyone, I'm curious actually to know which one out of this list that you guys believe is the most iconic dance of all time. So if you're watching this on YouTube, please leave it in the comments. On Spotify, just let us know somehow. But yeah, so I'm gonna go down this list that we got from our Instagram followers. Okay, so. First one, Nobody.
Oh, yeah.
Wonder
Yes.
Girls.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like everyone knows that, and my nieces and nephews. Wedding Dress by Taeyang.
Yes.
Like the dance.
You know
it. Yeah.
You know the dance?
Lyle Beniga, man.
Oh, yeah.
I know like one part. Like one part.
Okay, dang. Okay. G, Girls' Generation.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was gonna do it. Like I want to do
yeah.
it so bad.
That's crazy. By the way, if there's any names on here that I like butcher,
Mispronounce,
I am
yeah.
so sorry, K-pop fans. But anyway, next one is Genie by SNSD.
Yes. That's Girls' Generation. That's
Oh.
their like Korean like abbreviation.
Oh, gotcha.
Sonia
Okay, I didn't know.
Shide.
What was it? Genie?
Genie.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, cool. Next is
This is all my era.
Sorry by Super Junior.
Answer these questions because they're like very our age.
Oh, I mean, you
It's
know,
not me. Just kidding.
like I assume people our age follow our Instagram, so probably.
Yes, we do know. Sorry.
Gotcha. Next is Lucifer by
My
Shiny.
Shiny.
Shiny?
Yeah.
No. I don't know it.
That's a
All
hard
right,
one.
so
Yeah.
that's the first one you don't know, right?
Yeah, because
And Eric, you're
it's
still
too
100%.
complicated.
Dang. Okay.
Yes.
He did
That's why
a
he's a
thumbs up,
K-pop
guys.
mentor.
That's our K-pop mentor. He teaches every Friday, guys. Not every Friday. Fridays at On One Studios at 8 o'clock or 9:30. Follow On One K-pop on our Instagram. Boombaya
By Blackpink. Yeah.
by Blackpink.
Nope.
Gotcha. EXO, Growl.
Nope.
Yeah.
This is probably getting into the
Yes, this is
generation
not
we
my
left.
era.
Yeah. Wonder Girls, Like This,
Yeah.
No.
and Wonder Girls, Be My Baby.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one. If you guys find and dig through YouTube hard enough, you'll find the video that these
Me
guys
and
made.
Eric were dancing.
Move by Taemin.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, that's a good one.
He has
I'll
solo.
show you later.
No.
Dang. Everyone's gonna take like pretty much like YouTube all of these or Google all of these and just look up these dances. Don't Wanna Cry, 17.
Oh, by 17.
No.
Yeah.
You
Gotcha.
do?
I do.
I'm Eric. Just kidding.
You're 100% crazy. Card, Red Moon.
No.
No. Well, that actually
okay.
just came out like 2 days ago. So.
Oh, 2 days ago. Wow, and someone called it iconic, so I mean, we gotta check it out. Red Velvet, Russian Roulette.
Yes.
Yes, even I know that one.
Fake Love
By BTS.
by BTS.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And the last one we have on here is Butterfly by Luna.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah. Was that one of the ones that you guys just taught yesterday?
Not yesterday.
Or
But we
this
did
past
another
weekend?
Luna song, but like last year.
I know. We had a Luna weekend basically. Like, was
did.
there like a reason behind that? Because of Valentine's or?
It's just because they released a new album, and then all four of us just happened to be like really big fans.
Oh,
So we
awesome.
all just chose a song from the album to do.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So, I mean, that pretty much wraps it up for today. Next time we're really going to be talking about, I mean, you know all of these dances and stuff. You teach a covers class here. We're going to be talking about all things with K-pop dance covers and dance culture in general. The crossover, we mentioned Lyle Bonigo, the crossover with the urban community. So that's going to be on our next week's episode. Please stay tuned, guys, and we'll see you guys next time. Later.